Good morning, language warriors. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you. Hello, hello, hello once again. Welcome to my live stream. This is Teacher Mark's chat room. And I'm Teacher Mark. What's up? Hello, everyone. Hello, Patricia. I'm fine. How are you? Hello, Mona and Larissa. Halil, it is 9:03 a.m. here right now. And Larissa, no, I was not the singer on that song. I'm the drummer on that song. So, yeah. How is everyone doing today? Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Mona. Let's see who's with us. We've got Mona and Kathy and Jessica. Hello, Ricardo. Hello, Kim and Burgu and Jose and Ella and Caddy and Wendy and Anita and Radna. Hello, hello, everyone. I'm doing fine, Ricardo. Thank you for asking. I woke up early today, and so I feel a little bit more ready than I usually do right now. All right, well, today we have a new topic. We're going to talk about art and creativity. Art and creativity. And you're probably wondering, why are we talking about art and creativity if I'm an English teacher? Well, we're talking about art and creativity so that you can practice your English. And let's see, how well can you talk about art and creativity? Can you? Let's find out. All right. Let's see. Today is Wednesday, May the 10th. It is 9:05 a.m. And it looks like it's going to be a nice day today. It's 13 degrees right now, and later it will be 25 today. But that's good because I have a lot of work to do. So, yay. Maybe I'll even go for a hike. All right, let's get started with our topic, shall we? Let's get started with our topic. Okay, so we are talking about art and creativity today. I have 4 questions for you, and they are, 1, do you enjoy any form of art? Do you do any kind of art? Do you do painting or drawing or music, or do you make some kind of crafts? Why or why not? Why do you do art or why not? Question number 2 is, have you ever created any artwork at all? If you have, describe it. Question number 3, who is your favorite artist or musician and why do you appreciate their work? And finally, question number 4, can you think of a famous artwork or song that has had a significant impact on society? All right, so we're going to start with question 1. Question 1 is, do you enjoy any form of art? Do you do any kind of art? Do you paint? Do you draw? Do you do sculpture? Do you play piano or an instrument? Do you enjoy any kind of art? Zara, how can you reach a score of IELTS 7? Well, that's hard. You need to probably get a teacher to study for that. Okay? But right now, Zara, we're talking about art and creativity. So, Jessica says, I play the piano because I enjoy the sound of the piano and it can reduce my stress. Okay, Jessica, I play piano too. Good for you. Larissa likes it, but you don't practice any. Okay. Burgu says, music is my passion, but only as a listener. Okay. Mona enjoys playing the guitar and is also learning to play the piano. Anyone else? Does anyone else do any kind of art? Do you draw? Does anyone draw? Who draws? Come on, we must have some people who draw. There's one, Anna. Anna says, I do drawings, paintings, and craft. Okay, what kind of crafts do you do, Anna? Mosen says, certainly playing instruments is vastly enjoyable and entertaining as well. I play sitar. Okay. Anna does knitting and crochet. Okay. I've liked singing. Zara, nobody's here to help you. Don't be so dramatic, Zara. You just joined, right? You just joined, okay? So, and you've only been in Australia for 2 months. Things don't always happen easily. Okay, I know that it can be hard, but you can do it. Just relax. Relax, okay, Zara? Follow my live streams, and maybe that will help some, okay? Mona likes photography also. Hello, Tanya. Hello, Rosemary. Hello, Isabella. Tram enjoys drawing landscapes. Okay. Tram, do you know about Bob Ross? Have you ever heard of Bob Ross before? He's probably the most famous American painter of landscapes. Abdo says, I enjoy drawing, and I draw sometimes, but I'm still a beginner. Okay, good. Radna likes to draw with crayons, but it depends on your mood. Okay, I like to draw with crayons, too. I just bought these crayons, and I'm so excited to use them. I love a new box of crayons. Hello, Diora. Hello, Tatiana. Hello, Muhammad John. I don't like my roommate. What should I do? Find a place to ask that question that's appropriate. Jesse, we're not talking about your roommate. You walked into my classroom, Jesse. We're talking about my stuff. We're not talking about your roommate. Sorry. Unless your roommate does art or painting. Isabella likes drawing mandalas with crayons. Okay, that's fun. Mona says, I think I'm not good at drawing. I wish I was more talented. Okay. Well, Mona, have you ever heard of a man named Kurt Vonnegut? Kurt Vonnegut. Kurt Vonnegut is a famous novelist. He's a writer. And he wrote many science fiction books. But he also has many interesting quotes and interesting things to say. And one of the things that he says that I like is that the point of doing things is not always to be great at them. The point of doing things is just to have new experiences. And when you have those experiences, that helps you become a more interesting person, and it helps you grow as a human being. So, you don't have to do things well to get something out of it. So if you play piano, but you don't play piano well, that's still good. If you draw, but you don't draw well, it's still good. Okay? So you don't have to be a master or an expert at some kind of an art form in order for that thing to be valuable to you. Okay? Trade show English? Trade show English. Well, that's a pretty specific thing. Sherry, okay, I'll think about that. Muhammad John, earthquake. Muhammad John, I want to help you, but I'm not going to help you unless your questions are about my topic. Okay? Radna wants to know, does anyone sew? Does anyone sew? And Diora sews. Okay, there you go. Paran says, I play the sitar. It's a traditional instrument because I want to be a singer, and it helps me be professional. Okay. That's right, Mona. Sometimes the feeling is more important and not the impact. That's right. Rosemary says, I used to draw and paint, but now there is no time for this. Really, Rosemary? Really? You have time for a drawing. Drawing doesn't take any time. You can draw anytime. And you should. You should try to just, when you have 5 minutes, draw something. It's good for you. You have to exercise that part of your creative person, your creative spirit. Your creative spirit inside you, it needs exercise, just like your physical body needs exercise. Your creative spirit needs exercise. How can you exercise your creative spirit? Do creative things. Do creative things like art or drawing or painting or dancing or singing or whatever. Okay? Hello, Belen. Good to see you again. Ive says, I know how to cook, but I'm not a perfect cook. I need to work on this more. Well, cooking is one of my favorite things to practice because you can eat your practice. You can eat it, and if it's good, then it's really yummy. Tanya says, any new activity or hobby creates new neural connections in our brain. That's correct. Yeah. So any new thing you do is good for you, but especially art or creativity, creative things. You like drawing, but you don't have the tools to draw. Ahmed, you don't have a pencil? You just need a pencil and some paper. That's all you need. Scott can operate a sewing machine and all the special machines at the factory. Okay, but Scott, operating the sewing machines at a factory is not exactly the same thing as sewing. What kind of form of art do I like? Well, Diora, I'm a musician. I'm a drummer, so I love music. I play the piano and I play drums. So music is my favorite kind of art. But I also like cooking, and I do like drawing. I like drawing. I used to like to draw architecture, like houses. And I also used to like to draw landscapes and things like that, too. That's right. Tanya says, really? You can draw with a pen on a napkin? Yeah. And when Pablo Picasso did that, he would sell the napkins for like $30,000. He'd be like, hey, do you want a Picasso? He would draw something on a napkin and give it to you. Here's your Picasso. Hello, Mia. Hello, Laura. Okay, well, those are pretty good answers, everyone. Pretty good answers. Ooh, there's an interesting one. Tanya says, in the summer, I like to draw on pebbles. What do you draw on pebbles, and how do you draw on pebbles? That's interesting. And where did you learn this thing? Is that like a traditional thing in Russia? Mr. Parvez, hello, my friend. Do you know what we are talking about? Well, I know you want to join, but do you know what we are talking about? If you don't know what we are talking about, then you cannot join. That's how that works. Larissa says, I used to like building houses in The Sims when I was younger, like an architect, but I'm not one. Okay, well, that's kind of like architecture. You know, it's a different kind of architecture, sure. Burgu says, there's always someone in this classroom who doesn't care about the topic. There's always someone. That's the thing, Burgu. You just said something very important. This is a classroom. I know that, and you know that. But many, many, many people don't know that. So when they walk in the door, they just say, hi, my name's blah, blah, blah. Help me, because I'm here and no one else is here. So you should just help me. But I'm sorry, there are a lot of people here and I'm helping everyone. So pay attention. Good Lord. I just don't understand. Turn on your camera and then listen. Listen and pay attention to what's going on. Then maybe you can get something out of it. But, you know, I just don't understand people that just come in and just say, hi, I need help. Me. Yeah. Anyway. Radna says, and almost everyone is into photography these days. That's true, Radna, because, you know, when I was younger, photography was an expensive hobby. It was an expensive hobby to do, right? Buying cameras was expensive. Buying film was expensive. So, not that many people did photography as a hobby, but you're right. Now, everyone has an amazing camera in their phone. So, you know, a lot more people do photography. But I think that's a good thing. You know, it has made creativity more accessible to people. Well, that's cool, too. Bellin says, my favorite painting is on stones with my daughter. We paint animal faces based on the stone's shape. That's cool. Scott, I will invite students to the stage in just a few minutes to answer the questions of our topic today. Yes, I will invite people. Usually the first couple of questions we just talk in the chat, and then on the third or fourth question, I invite people to come up and talk about all of the questions. Okay? acrylic paints can be painted on any surface. A lot of great drawings on pebbles on the internet. Okay, Tanya, I'll take a look at that. Sounds interesting. That sounds interesting. Okay, so good answers, everyone. Good answers. I would like to go to our second question today. The second question today is, have you ever created any artwork? Describe it. Okay, so I asked you, do you do art? Okay, so some of you said you do sewing, you do painting, you do drawing. All right, now tell us about something you created. So if you drew something amazing, tell us about it. If you painted something amazing, tell us about it. If you wrote something amazing, tell us about it. Yes, I can show the questions again, sure. Question number 2. Have you ever created any artwork of any kind? Describe it for us. Tell us what you created. Laura says, I write poetry and blog posts, and that's good, but I want you to tell me about one thing that you created artistically. Okay? I don't want you to tell me what you can do. I don't want you to say, I write. I want you to tell me about the story that you wrote. I wrote a story about, detectives and, something like that. Or I painted a picture of a beautiful sunset. Or I crocheted a sweater for my niece. Okay, tell me about what art did you create? What art did you create? Roberta used chopsticks to make a blanket. That's interesting. How do you use chopsticks to make a blanket? I would like to see that. Tanya says, I made some beautiful dolls from polymer clay. One was in a dandelion costume. Oh, that's cute. Dior says, yes, I created the clothes and recycled them from... Oh, you created clothes recycled from old jeans. Well, that's kind of cool. I like that idea. I love jeans. I'm a jeans guy. Dior, you could probably sell those online in America and make a lot of money. Laura says, I wrote poetry in Edgar Allan Poe's style in college for a seminar discussing his works. Well, that's interesting. So you wrote poetry in the style of Edgar Allan Poe. That's pretty cool. Mona says, I took a great picture of thunder once before. Mona, you can't take a picture of thunder, but you can take a picture of lightning. And that's what you mean. Thunder, Mona, is the sound. Lightning is the electricity. Okay, so you can say, I took a great picture of lightning. Anna used to be an interior decorator and graphics designer, so you created a lot in your career. Okay. Larissa says, I used to construct buildings with a box of shoes and make people with paper. Is that art? Yeah. Larissa, anything that's remotely creative is art. So you made a box of shoes and you made a building with a box of shoes? Sure, that's art. Yeah. Ives says, I wrote a fiction novel when I was in high school and it was really admired by many of my friends. Wow, that's impressive. You wrote a novel? How many pages was it, Ive? Scott says, I built a chicken coop last year for 100 chickens. Well, that's building something. That's still, even that kind of building it's creative. right? You have to think about, how am I going to build this thing, and what materials will I use, and what design do I want to create, So sure, that's creative. Muhammad says, I started to play a musical instrument, but I'm not a professional. Well, Muhammad, everyone who is a professional musician, they also started and they weren't a professional. I'm a professional musician, and when I started, I wasn't a professional musician. Maya says, I used to make a short film and music video and compose some songs. Ooh, that's cool. Well, hello, Mai. Would you be interested in making a music video for my band? My band has 4 songs that we just released, and we have videos for them, but we just came up with a new idea. We want to open source our music videos. So we want to tell everyone in the world, here's our song, use our song, and you can make a music video, any music video you want. So we're hoping to get a lot of people who are interested in wanting to make their own video for our song. So Mai or me from Vietnam, if you're interested in creating a music video with my band's song, send me a message. Radna says, when I was in art school, I painted a picture using batik technique on fabric. I don't know what that is, Radna. That sounds interesting. Batik technique. Let me see if I can figure out what that is. Oh, I do know what that is, where you like dye something. Right, yeah. There's like a stamp, like you use like a stamp to do it, right? That's interesting, but I didn't know it's Indonesian. It's an Indonesian technique. Pretty cool. Scott, where are you living that you made yourself a chicken coop? Radna says it was an image of a seal on an ice floe in Lake Baikal. Okay. Wow. Motion says, I don't know if this is art or not, but I've made great music by myself with my sitar. Sure, that's art. It doesn't have to be something you sell. If you write a poem and no one ever reads it, it's still art. If you play a song and no one ever hears it, it's still art. If you paint a picture and no one ever sees it, it's still art. People don't have to know about it for it to be art. Do you think a talent can be lost if it's not put to use? I wouldn't say it can be lost, but I would say it can get rusty. Laura, that's why we have an English idiom. I'm rusty, or I need to break the rust off. I'm rusty means that I haven't done this thing in a long time, so I'm not very good at it right now. I need to break the rust off also means that I haven't done this thing in a long time, and because I didn't do it for a long time, now it's rusty. So I need to break the rust in order for it to move again. Okay, so I'm rusty is a good thing, a good English idiom to know. It just means I'm not very good at this because I haven't done it in a long time. I'm a little bit rusty. Okay? Hello, Anna. Ah, Scott's in Orlando. All right, then. Thank you, Amico. All right, well, let's look for our third question today. Let's look at our third question. Our third question today is, who is your favorite artist or musician, and why do you appreciate their work? Who is your favorite artist or musician, and why do you appreciate their work? Okay, and if you would like to, you can raise your hand, and in just a couple of minutes, I'll invite some people on stage to talk with me about these questions. Let me say that one more time. In just a few minutes, I will invite people on the stage to talk about these questions. Not to talk about your grammar question, not to talk about the roommate that you don't like, not to ask me. Yeah, okay? We're talking about art and creativity. All right? So, who is your favorite artist or musician, and why do you appreciate their work? So, Ives says, my favorite group is a Korean band called BTS. Okay, so I've heard of BTS, but I'm not familiar with them. So tell me, I know they're very famous, but why do you like them? Why? Like, what is so great about them? Laura says, right now I'm obsessed with La Aurora, I can't even pronounce it, La Aurea de Van Gogh. I like their cheerful music and the message. Okay. So what is that? I know Van Gogh, but what is La Aurea de Van Gogh? Jay Cho is your favorite musician? Okay. He's talented. Turkish singer Sem Adrian. His vocal range is so wide and I feel like I'm listening to multiple voices. Okay. Mona says my favorite band is Pink Floyd. I like them because they give a great vibe when you listen to the band. Yeah, Pink Floyd is really great vibe music. It's a Spanish music band. Ah, okay. Hero likes James Blunt. All right. Joe likes a band called Goodbye. Diora likes the artworks of Botticelli and Da Vinci. Mohammed likes someone named Alexei Arpikovsky. All right. Where is Alexei Arpikovsky from? Sounds Russian. Okay, so I see a lot of answers, but you're forgetting the most important part of the question. The question is, who is your favorite artist and musician, and why do you appreciate their work? So why do you like Botticelli? Why do you like Da Vinci? Why do you like Alexei Arpikovsky? Why do you like Aurea de Van Gogh? Why do you like those people, those bands, those groups? Mia says, I like Harry Styles. His performance is amazing. The songs are so good. Okay. See, that's a good answer. Scott says, my dad is a late learner in oil painting, but he created some awesome paintings. That's cool, Scott. You know, that's one thing that I think is really lame in America is the one thing that there are some other things I could criticize, but one thing I think is just so sad here is that we treat art like it's something so unimportant and it's something so silly that nobody needs to do it ever. So we encourage you to do art when we're kids here. But then when you become an adult, they kind of treat it like, oh, that's child stuff. You're not supposed to do that anymore. So I think it's really cool when I hear about an older person who chooses to start doing art again. I think that's a really good, bold thing to do. It's a pet peeve of mine. Yeah, people who don't understand or have value for art and artistic things. Yeah. Ive says BTS is, you like BTS because their music is so inspiring and intriguing. They taught me how to love yourself. Okay, that's interesting. To be honest with you, I don't really like K-pop mostly because it just isn't my style of music. Mostly because it's all electronic and it doesn't have any real instruments in it. And if the music doesn't have any real instruments in it, then I'm mostly not interested. That's just kind of how I am. I need there to be at least one person who plays an actual instrument, not just a bunch of computers and keyboards that do everything. All right, and I'm going to bring some people on stage here in just 1 second. So once again, raise your hand if you want to answer these questions. Hello, Natalie. Or is it Natalie? I don't know. I never know how to pronounce that name in other languages. Your favorite singer is Harry. Do you mean Harry Styles? Noah is back. Hello, Noah. Noah likes the Beatles. Isabella says you like ABBA's music because they make you dance. Okay. Dancing Queen. Gift Gaff says, I love Ed Sheeran because his songs are very touching. Aaron says, I like how art can express feelings and emotions. That's right. That's the point of art. It's to express your feelings and emotions. That's the point of music and art, is to express your feelings and emotions. Have I issued any albums? Neo, I've played on probably about, 25 or 30 albums, something like that. But nothing that you know about. Nothing famous. But yes, I've been on records before. Jay Wei likes this Chinese singer Shu Wei because his songs make you feel free and easy. Okay. Thank you, Rosemary. Muhammad likes Alexi because when he plays, it gives you a good feeling. Okay. We say a person is a band because he can play the piano, guitar, violin. Okay, interesting. Mona's favorite singer is Frank Sinatra. He does have a great voice. Bellin likes Leslie Pike, a glass engraver. Ooh, okay, that's an interesting art form. Rodna says, let's see if I can pronounce this one. Veresak? Vereskajin Vasily. I think that's how you pronounce it. He was a talented artist. He traveled a lot, and he kept a chronology of his paintings. Interesting. He captured important historical events. I'd like to see that. Dior likes Botticelli because it's beautiful color combinations. Amaris says Degas. His paints are about ballet and they're wonderful. Okay, good. All right, so let's raise your hand. Let me see who wants to talk to me. We've got Anna and Scott. I've got room for one more person. Raise your hand if you want to come talk to me. Hello, Anna.
Hi, Mark. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. So far, so good.
Good.
Thank you for having me on stage.
You're welcome. And hello, Scott.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
I can. How are you?
All right, I'm doing great, thank you.
Good. And let's see. We got one more. Let's get Mira up here. Mira, would you like to join us? There's Mira.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Mira.
Hello.
So let's see. Mira, you're in China. What city are you in?
I'm from Hangzhou.
From Hangzhou. Okay. And Scott, you are in Orlando, you said, but you're Chinese. Where are you from originally?
Just from the South China, a little village, kind of near like Guangzhou, but
Near
like
Guangzhou.
an hour from south from there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And Anna, where are you from?
I'm from China.
Okay. Where in China? China's big.
Well, I can say I'm living in the area of Shanghai.
Okay. Yeah. See, when you say I live in China, you might as well say I live on Earth. Like that doesn't help me. I know you live in China. I can see your flag. I want to know what city you live in. And
I'm not from Mars.
Okay, well that's good. But we're trying to educate people here, and so it's so funny to me when I ask people where are you from, and they say, "Oh, well, you won't know it." Well, guess what? If you don't tell people, then no one will ever know about your city. So,
Exactly.
you have to tell people about your city, and then finally people will know, yeah, I think I've heard of that place before. So, okay, let's start with Anna. Anna, would you like to tell me about who is your favorite artist and why do you like them so much?
Okay, thank you for the question. I really like it. My favorite artist, actually, you just mentioned it in your live stream for the first question, and he is Pablo Picasso.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
And why do you
the
like Picasso
Spanish.
so much?
Because Picasso never stopped to explore the new way to express his mind.
That's true.
He had been an explorer, an adventures, never stopped.
That's
And
true.
in his whole life,
That's true.
yeah,
One of the
in
things
his
that
whole life,
I like the stories about him, many artists, sometimes artists, Pablo Picasso, he had a little bit of a drinking problem. He was a bit of an alcoholic from what I know. But here's the thing. One of the things he became famous for was sometimes he would be in a bar just drinking and someone would talk to him and he would draw something on a napkin and give it to them.
yeah,
And
yeah,
now that napkin's probably worth $1 million. But what's so great about it is it just shows you that he's an artist all the time. It's not something he does like a job. It's something that's inside
Right.
him that needs to come out. And so it doesn't matter if he's
Right.
at a bar drinking by himself, he's still an artist because art is not something you do. Art is something you are. So,
Right. Right.
it's not
Right.
something you can turn on and off.
Right.
It's not like it's a job. So, yeah, it's
Yeah.
a calling, it's a passion.
Right. I can't agree more.
That's right. Okay. And Mira, what about you? Mira, do you have a favorite artist that you'd like to tell us about and why?
Okay, my favorite singer is Jackie Zhang, and he is from Hong Kong.
Okay.
Yeah, I was fascinated by his voice, and his voice is very gentle and very unique.
Okay.
And most of his songs are love songs. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and he impressed me most because I was met her in person when like 10 years ago in a charity event. He was raised funding for the non-profit organization. Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah. It's good when artists use their talents to do something good, like, help a nonprofit organization. So that's good. All right. And what was his name again, Mira?
Jackie Zhang.
Jackie Zhang. Okay.
张学友.
Zhang Xueyou. Okay. All right. I'll check him out, see if I can find him. All right. And Scott, what about you?
So my favorite artist that I related to is my dad, and he created many awesome oil painting.
That's cool. So you were talking about that before. Did your dad like oil painting when he was younger? Was it something he did when he was young, and then he started again when he was later, or was it just something brand new?
Something brand new.
Wow, that's amazing.
So he just, wanted to do it. But he actually put in effort, like took months of, I think a couple months of like workshop or classes with a local artist. So he learned all the technique, and then he started to create his own. But he continued also do a lot of research and all that. But he have a background on. He was an engineer in China. So
wow.
He did a lot of like big project, and he did survey. So he in his brain he can scale things.
Right.
So he have something that maybe that could help an artist.
A very visual mind. Yeah, I think so. Right. Yeah. So let me ask you a question, Scott. Do you think your father was born talented?
My father was born as I think it's artistically, because he write like Chinese, not poetry, but when he was young he met someone that he loved. When he exchanged email like letters, so he was known to really know how to write a beautiful like letters.
Well, that's cool. So the reason I asked you, Scott, is because many people think I'm not talented. I can't be talented. I wasn't born that way. Like talented people are born that way. You can't be talented if you're not born that way. But I don't really agree with that idea. I think everybody is talented. Everyone is talented, but you just don't know it because you haven't found your talent. You haven't found it and you haven't pursued it. So, Scott, there's a famous American painter named Bob Ross. He used to teach painting on TV. He was really famous.
My father watched all his video and followed him. And my father also follow another person. And this person, this artist is still alive, and he actually he's also an engineer.
Well, that's cool.
But he's not doing that anymore. And then he's doing like workshop and travel around the state and to give to teach. And he's very famous now. That person is online.
What's his name?
I don't recall his name, but he's very good at drawing, like small painting, like an apple and things.
Wow.
He has a background, I think it's something related to like the light or something, engineering.
Interesting. Okay. Well, one of the things that I love about Bob Ross is he had a quote that I love. And one of his quotes is, "Talent is a pursued interest." So if you have an interest and you pursue it, which means to chase it, you are talented. Yeah, that's talent. That's all it is. So when you see me and you say, "Oh, he's so talented, he plays drums," that's hard work. When you see me and I play piano, "Oh, he's so talented, he plays piano," that's hard work. It's not a secret. It's just I just did work. That's it. You know, you can do that too. You just have to find something you're interested in and chase it. Find something you're interested in and chase it. That's all you need to do. So that's one of his quotes that I thought was so brilliant is talent is a pursued interest. You just need to find something you love and then chase after it. That's it. So, okay, let's go to our other question, our final question here. Can you think of a famous artwork or a song that has had a very significant impact on society? Scott, we'll start with you. Can you think of any famous artwork or any famous song or something, you know, like the Statue of David, right? The Statue of David in Italy, in Rome. Or is it in Rome?
Yeah.
Or is it in Florence? I always forget if it's in Florence or Rome. It's in Rome, right? Yeah. I've never been, so I don't know. But I think it's in Rome. So, but the Statue of David, very, very famous, and it's affected millions of people, or billions, really. Maybe Van Gogh, Starry Night, the beautiful, beautiful picture of them, you know, with the swirling clouds and swirling blue sky. That has been, you know, millions and millions of people have seen that and they've been affected by it. So can you guys tell me about some kind of art that you think has affected the world in a big way? Scott, you want to start?
Well, I can come up with a song that I personally I see that song is it's a timeless and the name of the song is called Killing Me Softly.
Ooh, great song. Killing Me Softly with His Song. Great, great, great song. Roberta Flack. Yeah, I was lucky enough to meet her. Her father, or not her father, her uncle. Her uncle was the president of a university here in Ohio. And her uncle was my father's college roommate. And so he ended up being this president for this university not far away. And when I went to the celebration for him, she performed at the celebration and I got to meet her, which was awesome because, wow, such a great singer and such a great song. Famous song. So yeah, okay, cool. Good one, Scott. And what about you, Mira? Can you think of anything?
Yeah, I'm trying to thinking about the name of the song. The song of Michael Jackson. We Are the World, I think.
Good. Oh, wow. That's so funny.
Yeah.
I was going to suggest that one too. Yeah. We are the world. We are the children, right? Yeah, that's a great song from the 1980s. And it was really, it was a very powerful song because it was one of the first times when it did look like we were all coming together. Like the world was coming together for this song, just one song, but it was really powerful. So that's good. Yeah, good. I like that. All right. And what about you, Anna?
Well, besides, except for the people they were talking about music, I would like to go back to Picasso and to talk about a little bit of his work. I'm not sure if you have heard his significant artwork is Guernica. I'm not sure if I pronounced this name correctly. It's actually is a name or city in Spain.
Can you write it for me?
Oh, yes.
Grenade. Yeah, there it is. That's it. Yeah, Guernica. Yeah. I'm not sure how to pronounce it either.
Guernica,
Yeah.
It's the name of the city and also it's the name of his masterpiece.
Ah, okay. All right. Yeah. And and Bellin said that David is in Florence. I was right. I thought he was in Florence for a second there. I was like, wait, is it Rome? No, it's not. It's in Florence. That's right. That's what I thought. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, that's great. Anna, yeah.
can I spend a little minute to tell people a story related to this painting,
Sure, I would
Guernica?
love to hear that.
Yeah, actually, I learned this story when I was in middle school. I'm not sure if it's true or false, but it's an interesting story related to this masterpiece. And then Picasso created Guernica, this painting, oil painting, back to World War II. And because he chose this subject because at that time, Nazi explored the city in Spain, caused a big disaster, explosion
They
on the
destroyed it.
city.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they destroyed that city, and Picasso, by his very very strong angry, and he just created this painting within short time with a very strong patient and angry. And then one day, maybe in future, Nazi invaded Spain, and a Nazi officer, military officer, saw this masterpiece, and he talked to Picasso and said, "Oh, you created such a great artwork, a masterpiece artwork." And Picasso replied, "No, it's not my artwork. It's not my masterpiece. It's your masterpiece."
Wow.
I'm not sure if it's a truth or false, but it's like a legacy.
Yeah, that's a legend. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if that's true or not. I've never heard that story, but that's a pretty cool story if it's true. That's a pretty cool story if he said, "Yeah, I didn't create it, you did." Yeah, that's interesting.
Thank you.
Jason says it wasn't World War II. It was the Spanish Civil War in 1936. So right before World War II. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Maybe I.
No. That's
I
okay. Look,
remember
that's how.
something wrong.
That's why we. I don't correct you to embarrass you. I correct you so that we all know. Because that's my job. I'm a teacher. We're supposed to learn and grow, right? So if you say something incorrect, I'm supposed to correct you so that we can all grow and learn. So, and it's not a story I was familiar with.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's great. Thank you for sharing that, Anna. Yeah. So,
Thank you.
okay. Well, what about any of the other questions? You guys, would you guys like to answer any of those? About just, do you like any art or anything else about art that you'd like to talk about or comment about? Art or music? Do you think that they're important? Do you think art and music are important?
I would like to say I like taking up yoga, and is it also a kind of I think relaxing leisure work?
Yeah,
so-
yoga can be an art form too. Absolutely. Yoga is the art of body movement.
Yeah,
It's-
and also it can keep your mind calm and peacefully.
Absolutely.
It's a kind of
Meditation.
Meditation. Yeah, you move with your meditation with the move.
Right.
Yeah,
it reminds
yeah.
me, it's similar to Tai Chi.
Ah.
Yeah, very, very
Yes.
similar. The movements are all about the motion and meditation through motion. It's the same. Yoga is meditation in motion, and Tai Chi is also kind of meditation in motion. Yeah.
And when you practicing it, you will forget the work stress or the stress of the work study. Then you put all your energy and mind into the yoga, and you will feel very peaceful. Yeah,
That's true.
In mind. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Anna or Scott, anything else you would like to say?
I think art is around us, and it's the most beautiful things. I mean, it's around us. We see them all the time, and everything is around art. It's how it connects us together.
I think that's a great answer. The only problem is, I agree with you. I think art is everywhere. The only problem is, I think not everyone sees it. So I can see it. Many people can see it, but I see people who walk around every day who they don't see any art in life. They're walking through life and there's no art in their life at all. And it's obvious. If you're not enjoying your life at all, it might be because you don't recognize any art. You don't see the music. You don't see the beauty of life that we create through art. That's what art is. It's beauty created by humans. So whatever it is, it's powerful beauty, emotional beauty created by humans. So when I see people who, if you don't like going to the museum, it's hard for me to understand that. I really can't understand. If you don't like museums, I don't understand, because you look at this picture, it makes you think things. That is normal. If you see a picture, it's supposed to stimulate you. It's supposed to make you think things. And if your brain is so soft that when you see that picture, you don't think of anything, I think you're more animal than you are human. If you can't see art, then you're closer to an animal than you are to a human. Because when you see a beautiful thing, a beautiful picture, it's supposed to move you. And if it doesn't move you, something is wrong. Something is wrong with you. Now, I don't mean that you should like every art. Every art is something that you'll like. No. But it should move you. That means that it makes you feel something. Something. To be moved means to feel something. I don't care what that something is. You like it, you don't like it, makes you feel sad or happy or angry or thoughtful. But if you look at art and you don't think anything, something's wrong with you. You need to go think about that and figure it out, because a very important part of being a human is recognizing the beauty that humans create through art. And if you hear a beautiful song and you can't recognize it, that's a problem. If you see a beautiful picture and you can't recognize it, that's a problem. Yeah. So I'll tell you guys one of the things that just a song that popped into my head that has affected many, many people around the world, and I just think it's a great song.
I have heard this. Dun, 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 dun. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry, be happy. That's a great song, and it's so simple. It's so simple, but when that song came out, I think no one expected it to be popular, but it was, because it's just so simple and happy. It's just so simple and happy. Don't worry, be happy. Woo, 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 woo. Such a simple melody, but it's so happy and fun. And yeah, when you hear it, it gets stuck in your head. It gets stuck in there. You want to sing it more, right?
And your body will move.
Yeah, your body will move.
Body
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's art. That's being moved. When you hear that song, yeah, you're moved. You're moved. Even if it's just like, oh, that's fun. I like that. You're still being moved. So, yeah. All right. Well, Anna or Mira or Scott, are there anything else that you would like to ask me about, or any other questions or comments you would like to make?
I want to ask the thing behind you. Is it, are you playing a band?
I am a drummer, yes.
That is jazz?
Yeah, I play, well, in China, you call them jiazigu, but yeah, that's a weird thing. In America, that we think that's weird, because we call it the drum set, which means it can be played with any music, rock music, jazz music, blues music, funk music, all music. But in China, the name for that instrument is jazz drums.
jazz music.
Yeah. But it's not
kind of
just for
misleading.
jazz music. Yeah. We just call it the
Yeah.
drum set. And I play all kinds of music, every kind, rock, blues, jazz, funk, Latin pop, everything.
Okay. I have learned a new term. 'Cause we only know for jazz.
Right.
And, I hope I can sometimes. If I have you have chance, you can play it for us.
I do sometimes. Sometimes on my live streams I play, but it's funny because Mira, right now there's like 110 people watching right now, but if I go play drums, most of them will leave. So I don't play it very often because people don't really care. People don't really want to watch me play drums. They want to watch me teach, which is fine.
I never left.
But I do
I
both.
love listening
We are all good
to
students.
your
Want to learn
drums.
English.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, people are here to learn English, and I get that. But if you go to my YouTube channel, you can see on my YouTube channel, there's a lot of videos of me performing live. Here, I'll give that to you. One moment.
So is it the same account name?
It is. If you want to find me on YouTube, you can find me. You can search for A Friend in Every Corner. A Friend in Every Corner English with Teacher Mark. And here is. Here is my YouTube channel, and there's a bunch of videos on there with me playing music in different bands. Mostly jazz, but there's also some pop and some R&B.
I usually to play the Chinese traditional instrument called 琵琶.
Oh, I know pipa.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure whether you have heard of it, but I haven't practiced for quite a long time, so I'm not skillful anymore. I need to practice.
Yeah, you do.
more.
If
Yeah.
you don't practice, then you'll lose it. If you don't use it, you lose it. That's what we say.
Yeah.
So
Have you seen 琵琶? What it look like?
I do. I have a lot of friends who play traditional Chinese instruments. I have a friend that plays the erhu, and a friend who plays the pipa, and
Yeah.
So I have a lot of friends who play traditional Chinese instruments.
Yeah, it's a stringed instrument. Yes.
Yep. Anna or Scott, any other questions you want to ask me or things you would like to comment about?
Yeah, Mark, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you still remember? The first moment you sensed the music in your childhood, in your life?
Ooh, wow.
The first moment.
It's a good
How young
question.
you was?
The first moment,
The birthday
I don't think I can remember the first moment,
or
but I remember when I was young, before I played an instrument, my parents had some records, and they would play records sometimes. And there were a couple of records they played that I liked a lot. And one of them was a record by Paul Simon, and they had a song called 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. And the drummer on that song is a man named Steve Gadd, and he's a legendary, famous drummer. And he's one of my favorite musicians now. But it's funny because when I was 8, I probably heard his songs, and I didn't play the drums yet, but there was something about his drumming that called to me. It was like magic. It's like the flute player in the Snake, do 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 do, I felt like that. It was like his drumming, it was like magic. It was like calling me, and I couldn't come away from it. And that's kind of how drumming happened for me. It became something I was just obsessed with hearing, and I liked beating on things. So that's
How long have you been practicing drama, the drama set?
Oh, that's a good question. I think about, let me think. 35, maybe 36 years. Yeah,
Wow.
about that long.
So you learned since very little.
I was 11.
Ah.
I was 11. Yeah, when I started. 11 or 12, right in there.
So you can join a band.
I have played in hundreds of bands.
Wow.
That's my job, my main job.
professional.
I have many, many jobs. I do many things. So, that's another thing that I like about Da Vinci, right? When people talk about Da Vinci, what
Yeah.
was Da Vinci's job?
Painter.
He had many
Or
jobs.
Mathematic.
Mathematics, invention, painting, music. He did everything. Art, whatever. He did a lot of things.
So versatile.
Right. But the
Yes.
thing is, a long time ago, that's how everyone was. That's how it used to be. It used to be that your job was to learn everything you can about the world and then try to do anything you can with that information. So he would learn some math and then do something with math. He would learn some art and do something with art. He would learn some music and do something with music. Now we tell everybody that you have to only do one thing. We tell everybody, you have to be a doctor, and only a doctor. No, you don't. You could be many things. It's hard, but you can. So I'm a teacher, I'm a musician, I'm a cook, and I do other things too. I'm writing a book right now. That means now I'm an author. So I do whatever I think I can do. And that's what you should think too. Don't think, oh, I'm just a lawyer. I'm just a doctor. I'm just an engineer. You're not just anything. You're just a human being. And that means if you're a human being, it means you're capable of doing a lot. That's why we're still here. We exist because of our ability to adapt and change. But if you say, I'm only this, that's not changing. That's not adaptable. No. But when you say, I am a drummer, but I am a teacher and I am a cook, all of those things, they help each other. So guess what? Most of my great teaching ideas for English come from my teaching ideas from music. So I wouldn't know those ideas if I weren't a musician. So all these little things that you guys say, wow, I've never heard anybody say that about language learning before. That's because the other people who teach language learning, they're not musicians. So I have a unique perspective because I'm not only one thing. And you're not only one thing either.
Okay, so is there a special term for the person who got several jobs together or several hobbies?
Yeah, we have many different terms for it. One of them is a Renaissance man. A Renaissance man or a Renaissance woman. It means somebody who does a lot of things. They do art and they do sports and they do academics and learning and they're good at many, many things. Okay. So Da Vinci would be considered a Renaissance man. Okay. And why do we call them Renaissance men? Because it was around that time period, around the 1500s.
Can you type
Yeah,
it?
yeah, the Renaissance.
Renaissance. Is it? This is
It's
Yeah,
a whoops,
Renaissance.
I spelled it wrong.
Renaissance.
Sorry, yeah, here I spelled
文艺
it.
复兴，文艺复兴是不是也是这样说的？
Yeah, it's around 1450 to 1500 in Europe. That's when we call the Renaissance. And
Yeah, Renaissance.
the Renaissance was a time period when people started learning a lot more, and people were really pushing themselves to do new things and become more. And so that's where we get the term a Renaissance man. Okay. There's another English idiom. There's an English idiom we say a jack of all trades. A jack of all trades. Jack is just a common guy's name, like John, right? Jack. Okay. And so when you call somebody a jack of all trades, that means that he does many things. Now, it's a funny idiom because a long time ago, it used to be a longer idiom. We used to say, he's a jack of all trades, master of none. So it used to be a bad idiom. It would say he does many things, but he doesn't do any of them well because he does too many. So he can't learn. Right.
It becomes a bad
Right.
term.
But now we've actually we've learned that that's not true. We've learned that that's not true. If you do many things for a long time, guess what? You become a master at all of them. So, yeah, in the beginning, you're right.
Takes time. Yes, it just takes time.
Right. Yeah. In the beginning, you might look like you don't know what you're doing at many things. You're right. But eventually, in time, you do. So now when we say he's a jack of all trades, it used to be it was a negative thing because it used to imply that, oh, well, you do too many things, so you don't do anything well. But now, no, it's actually a positive statement now. Usually we say it, and it just means he's a very versatile person who's very diverse in their talents. So,
Versatile or
Yeah.
versatile.
都可以，都可以.
Okay.
Yeah.
都可以.
Yeah, versatile or versatile. Yeah, you could say either one.
Either one. Versatile.
Amazing benefit when you are across different fields.
I'm sorry? What'd you say, Anna?
I said, you probably got the amazing surprise, the benefits when you are across different fields.
You will. Yeah, you don't know how many benefits there are until you start doing multiple fields. And then you start seeing how the knowledge you have from this thing can benefit you in this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Albert Einstein, besides his scientific work, he loved music.
Right.
He was,
Again, he did many things too. He did many things
He's
too.
also an inventor, right?
He was an inventor. He was a mathematician, even though he didn't do well in math class, right? In math class, he got bad grades. But, and then, he loved music. He loved art. He loved many, many things. He was not one thing.
Yeah.
He did, his mind was open.
He used to say his,
Right.
Einstein used to say that his inspiration, his new ideas when he got when he was playing violins.
Right.
He got the new idea.
Yeah.
To build his scientific theory.
That's right. Well, because when we play music, it's sometimes it's like meditation and your mind becomes free. So your body is so distracted by the music that your mind is now in a place that it's so free to think openly. And so, I get some of my best ideas when I'm playing drums and everything makes sense. I can think so clearly because my body is fully distracted, which means my mind is completely focused. So, it's a very interesting thing. But we call that flow. Those are flow.
Yeah.
Those are
I
flow
just want to
moments.
say yes,
That's
flow.
called flow. Yeah, when you're in the flow, that's when things just feel like, oh wow, man, everything makes sense. Like all of the ideas are coming in the right order and everything is clear. Those are flow moments.
Can I?
心流.
That's right, Eric.
Yeah.
Mara, I have a question.
Scott, can you hold on for 1 second? Anna's trying to ask me something, but her connection's not very good. Anna, what were you trying to ask me?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the unstable connection. Can
That's
you hear
okay.
me now?
Yeah. No, it's okay. I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the
没问题，没问题
bad
问。
connection. Because you just said in that way, I'm not sure if I can say this way that when you was playing drum, you was immersed into a music ocean. Can
Yeah.
I see that?
Sure. Yeah, you can. Yeah. It's hard to explain to
Okay.
people if you don't understand it. When you play music, you're not thinking. You know, if you're playing music the way most people play music, there's no thinking involved. It's kind of like Bruce Lee. When Bruce Lee would fight, do you think he was thinking when he was fighting? You know, would he think like, oh, I need to make this punch now, and oh no, I need to make that kick now? No, he didn't think at all. That's why he practiced
Right.
so much. You practice over and over and over because you want to be able to do something without thinking. So when
Yeah.
I play music, I'm not thinking. I'm not thinking.
It's kind of what art and meditation, very
That's right.
concentrated.
That's right. It is. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Bruce Lee. He's another guy that I admire. Lucia, do I mean it's automatic? Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So the point of practice is to try to make something, try to learn something so that you don't need to think about it when you do it. Right? So when you go swimming, do you think about, oh, I need to move my arm here, and then I need to move this arm, and then I need to kick that leg? No, not anymore. Right?
Yeah.
When you started swimming, yeah, that's exactly what you did. Oh, I guess I have to move my arm here, and then I have to, oh, I see. But once you do it enough, you don't think about it anymore. Do you still think about walking? When you walk, do you think about every movement that you make? Do you, oh, I need to lift this leg and I need to move my... No, you don't think about any of that. You just walk,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
It's
I'm doing
memory of
drawing.
muscle.
That's right. It's called muscle memory. That's right. And that's the only way to get muscle memory is what I call the 1,000 times theory. The 1,000 times theory. So sometimes people come on my stream and they say, I tried it, but I couldn't do it. And I say, how many times did you try? And they say, I tried 20 times, or I tried 100 times, or I tried 300 times. And I tell them, if you didn't try 1,000 times, then you didn't try. Because
Right.
you have to practice a lot or it doesn't matter. If you only practiced
Yeah.
one time, that is nothing. It means nothing. You have to practice a lot before it means anything. Then you'll know. So if you practiced 1,000 times and you're still having problems, that's when you need to talk to the teacher. But usually, if you practice 1,000 times, you don't need the teacher because the practice, that's all you needed. You needed more practice.
Yeah, and be consistent.
Yes,
Consistent.
that's right. Yeah, that's right. Because we say practice makes perfect, right? 手能生巧, right? But that's not really true because you have to practice well, right? If you're practicing badly, then you're learning badly. So your practice has to be focused. Your practice has to be focused and controlled so that you practice well. So what I say is not practice makes perfect. I say perfect practice makes perfect performance. Okay? Perfect
That's
practice
true.
makes
Quite
perfect
true.
performance. Okay?
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
yeah, you can practice all day, but if you're practicing wrong, then that's not good, right? So that's why I'm saying practice doesn't make perfect. It's not about how many hours you do. It's about the quality of how many hours you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Practice all day and then stop for another week and then practice again.
Right. Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm practicing in wrong way because preparing for the IELTS exam. So I'm practicing IELTS reading, and today I read several passages and make some practice, but then the answer is. Not good, so I was frustrated. Then I come to your
So, Mira,
voice room to talk.
how many times have you tried it? How many times did you try doing that? 20
like a
times?
week.
30
Yeah.
times? A week.
Yeah, a week.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a question because if I have different the vocabulary I don't know because the articles are all about academic academic things which we are not familiar like the sea or the orchestra and all history and should I look up the vocabulary first or just read it and to guess the meaning?
Okay, that's a good question. If you're reading just for fun, then you should try to look up the words when you can, right? But you should read a book that's the right level for you. If you have to look up every word, that book is too hard for you. Okay? So
Not
how
every,
do you know what book is good for you? My theory is one page should have about 10 or 20 new words. Okay? If you have
yeah.
more than 20 new words
the
on
same.
one page, that book is too hard for you. That book is too hard for you. Okay? So you have to find the right level of book. And then when you're reading and you find a new word, circle that word, get a notebook, write it down in the notebook, and write down the English definition. Don't write down the Chinese, write down the English. Okay? And then when you're
that's a good
done,
idea.
you'll be able to look at the book and say, oh, look at all the words I learned. And you'll have a notebook that has all the words you learned. Okay?
Yeah.
Scott, I think you had a question I forgot to ask you about. Didn't you want to ask me something, Scott?
Yeah.
I'm sorry about
I wanted
that.
to ask about, okay, so if I wanted to take on a brand new language to learn it, and it's just like any new hobby, like you're thinking about knowing, like acquiring something new skill is always open up a lot of door. So it's very promising, but at the beginning is the hardest because you take away a lot of your time because you have so many other things of doing. How do you balance that when you have something new and want to go into and then make the assessment, so you do it or not doing it? And what is your experience into dealing with things like that nature? A temptation sometimes, like going into something.
So, right, when you want to do something, you have to find the time to do it, right? If you don't have the time to do it, then you can't do it, right? And you're right, it's hard. When you become an adult, you're busy. So it's hard to find the time to learn new things. That's why you need to understand that your brain is a computer. It's a learning computer. That's what the whole job of your brain is, to learn. And it wants to learn all the time, but you're not letting it. You're only letting it learn like this much, okay? So what I mean is, during your day, you watch TV. Sometimes you watch TV just for fun. You watch TV, right? Okay, so when you do that, turn on your brain and let yourself think interesting thoughts that are intelligent thoughts while you're watching your stupid TV show, right? So it's a stupid TV show, but you can elevate your mind, all right? So the secret, Scott, is what I call finding the time. Finding the time means that your brain wants to learn all the time, but you have to find the moments when you can let it. So that's, for example, you were talking about learning a language or something new, right? Well, if you want to learn another language, the most important part about learning a language is the one thing that they don't tell you about. Yeah. When you learn a language, Scott, they tell you there are 4 parts to learning a language, right? reading, writing, listening, and speaking,
Yep.
right? There's one really big one they forgot. And it's the most important one. Thinking.
Oh.
Because many people study English for many years, but they can't speak. Do you know why? It's because they're still thinking in their native language. They're not thinking in English. So they speak English, but they're thinking in their native language. Right? You know many people like that. You know many people. They can speak English, but when you hear them, you know they're speaking Chinese in their mind, and then they're just translating everything. That's not how language is supposed to be. If you're speaking Chinese, you should use Chinese in your mind. If you're speaking English, you should use English in your mind. Okay? So, for example, Scott, if you want to learn a new language, then let's say you want to learn, let's say you're going to learn German. Okay? So, the first thing that you might learn in German is how to say hello. You can say Guten Tag. Okay? Guten Tag means good day. Okay? And so that means I learned how to say Guten Tag. So now I'm going to walk around all day, and in my head, every person I see, I'm going to say Guten Tag, Guten Tag, Guten Tag. Guten Morgen. That means good morning. Guten Abend. That means good evening. I'm going to walk around all day and use the thing I just learned. So if you're learning English, walk around all day and use your English, even if it's only a little bit. I like that. I don't like that. That's cool. Ooh, I like that car. She's cute. He's funny. Simple things. That's all. I'm not asking you to teach advanced mathematics with English. No, I'm asking you to watch TV and tell me what you like about it or don't like about it. I'm asking you to go to the grocery store and think about what you need to buy for dinner in English. Now, the question is, how many of you can do that? If you went to the store right now to go buy groceries, could you go to the store and think in English the whole time? Could you do it? That's a question. So what I'm saying, Scott, is that's an example of what I mean about how you have to find the time. You have to turn your brain on. It's what we call active learning and passive learning. Most people, they try to passively learn all the time. They're just like hoping that things will come into their brain if they're around it. and yeah, that does work, but it works a lot better if you try to have an active mind. Okay, so when I go to the grocery store, I think, 今天我需要买什么东西？这个就是好贵了，为什么？这个买完了。Right? I'm just thinking simple things. That's sold out. Why is that so expensive? Where is this thing? That's all. I'm not having a conversation about philosophy. I'm having a simple conversation about what food to buy. Can you do that in English? In your mind? Okay? That's what you need to do. So, there are not 4 parts of language learning. There are 5. And the most important one is thinking. Because if you can think in English, then you can definitely write and read and speak and listen in English. Okay? So, of all of those, you should spend 50% of your time thinking. So, if you have 5 parts of language learning, 4 parts of language learning, that's 50%. Thinking, that's 50%. That's how important thinking is to language learning.
Okay. Teacher, I have another question.
Okay.
Yeah, because our teacher suggests us to talk to ourselves in English. Yeah, but that's the same with you. What you said, think English. Yeah. If I just learn the simple English and then I can go to the grocery and talk to myself, I think it's that is easy. But if we want to talk about this, have a discussion about like technology or education, or what's the advantage and the disadvantage, and I think for me, the in Chinese, it's also a little bit difficult for me. Then I need to think in English and express it myself. I think it's a little bit difficult for me. So, how can I to progress, make
Okay.
progress?
So first, you have to walk before you can run. So, yeah, you can't have conversations about technology or philosophy or culture yet. Not yet. You're right. The conversations you're going to have in the beginning are going to be baby conversations. They're going to be simple conversations about simple things. Okay. But the other great thing about thinking in English or thinking as part of your language learning is you will find your holes. What do I mean when I say find your holes? I mean you will find the things that you don't know how to say. You'll say, oh, wait a minute, like I want to talk about this, but I can't. Write that down, and now you know what you need to target, right? So that's what I call facets of learning. So you can write down a word like family. Okay, how well can you talk about family? Friends, how well can you talk about friends? Work, how well can you talk about work? Your hobbies, how well can you talk about your hobbies? Your past, your present, your future, your goals, your dreams, politics, religion. Write these down and then give yourself a score, 1 to 10. How well can you talk about those things? Now you have what I call finding your holes. That's okay, I can't talk about this, so I need to work on that. I can't talk about that, so I need to work on that. Okay?
Yeah, so that's the thing. So how do I make my hole? So I needed to look up on the internet or to
How do you
look.
how do you how do you fix those? How do you learn those things or know how to speak about those things?
Yeah.
Again, that takes time. You have to start simple, right? So, for example, to be or not to be.
Toy.
I'm late.
Those are very simple words, right? But that's deep. That's very, very deep, right? So what I mean is you can use simple words to think deep things and then build your language and build your vocabulary to be able to speak about those same things with more academic language.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, it takes time. But you can write it down and say, well, I can talk about my family really well, so I don't need to work on that. But I do need to work on talking about work because there are many things about my work that I don't know how to say in English. So I need to figure that out. Okay? That's what we call finding your holes. And that's why thinking is such a great part of language learning, because it will help you to find the things that you know how to say well and the things that you don't know how to say well. And that's telling you what to learn. That's telling you this is what you need right here. Okay? Anna and Scott and Mira, I'm going to let you guys go because I need to take a break before my next live stream in about 20 minutes. But thank you guys for coming on my live stream, and thank you for your answers and your questions. They were all very, very good. Anything else you would like to say before we go?
I just want to say thank you for the wonderful conversation.
You're
Very
welcome.
exciting.
You're very
So
welcome.
am I. I really appreciated you told me about the learning English.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. It's what I do. It's my job. Scott, anything else you'd like to say?
Really enjoyed the class. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you too. All right. Well, Anna, Mira, Scott, one on. Bye bye. I'll see you
you.
next time. Bye bye.
Thank you.
All right. So yes, everybody, I need to take a break. I'll be back I'm supposed to start at 11 o'clock, which is about 15 minutes, but it's probably going to be about 20 minutes or so. I need to take a short break. All right. So I'll be back a little bit after 11 o'clock in about 20 minutes or so. Please make sure you hit the follow button and please share. Please share, everyone. If you like what I'm doing and you think I'm helpful, then please help me. Share. Okay? Share. That's how you can help me. Tell other people in the world about me. Go to your other social media and tell them about me, okay? All right. Donnie, I see you have vocabulary questions. Come back and see me in a few minutes and I'll help you with your vocabulary questions, okay? All right, everyone. I will see you guys very, very soon. And yes, 我会说中文. Okay? 回来. Come back and see me in a few minutes, all right? All right, I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Ooh, I forgot my video. Let me get my video up. If you want to know my schedule for my live streams, then watch this video. Wherever it is. Where is my video? Oh, there it is. Teacher Mark's chat room. Bingo. Okay, I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye, everyone.